Hello team. In this demo, I'm going to talk about how to upload suppliers or staff data into the Sun system. You can use this method when you do a bulk upload. As you know, whether it is suppliers or staff, there are 4 templates that we need to complete: addresses, chart of accounts, suppliers, and bank details. Bank details are required if the payment method is bank of the supplier or the staff. First of all, you have to complete those 4 templates. Let's have a look on the addresses template. You have to put the correct business unit here, and then the first column, the layout ID. The layout ID is always 1 for addresses. 1 for addresses. And that layout ID should be included to all the lines like this. And then the address code and short heading. Short heading can have up to 15 characters, and then the lookup code also can have until 15 characters. The vendor name or the staff name, we can say, can have 50 characters, and subject to a country's or the bank requirements. Okay. If there are any exceptions, it will be communicated to you by our team, the transitions team, or by the national office. Then the address line number 2, 3, 4, and you know about this. I'm not going to explain these things. For staff, I just wanted to highlight, maybe for staff details, there may be no bank addresses, so therefore you can ignore addresses for the staff. If the country is not providing it, it is okay. The maximum characters you can have for each field is 50. And then the area you can have until 40 characters. Town and city, you can have 50 characters. Province and state, you can have 50 characters. A state code, you can have only 2 characters. Then the postal code, you can have to 20 characters. Then the country, 50 characters. Country code, 3 characters. Telephone number, fax number, email, web page, contact name, you can go until 50. So again, the comments, you can use some comments over here. So likewise. So you have to complete those first and make sure that informations are complete and accurate based on the nature of the upload that you are going to do, either staff or the supplier. So after doing that, you have to complete then the chart of accounts file. Again, the business unit should be inputted here, and then the layout identifier. Layout identifier should be like this: 1 to 11, and it's fixed, and it should be there for all the lines. Then after that, the relevant information. So I'm not going to talk about this information because you know very well about this. So for the account type, it should be C, creditors, for both suppliers and staff. Balance type should be O. Status should be O for both staff and suppliers. Default currency, you can set it or you can keep it blank. And the conversion code control should be D. Report conversion control should be yes, Y. And suppressed evaluation should be N, no. And then the data access group, if this is related to a hub country, then the related data access group should be there. The same data access group you can use for the suppliers and the staff. And then the A2 code, if this is related to an hub, then the A2 code is mandatory. The A2 code equal to the country code. And then the A8, the main account code should be 200 for both type of uploads, creation, suppliers and staff. And then from T0 to T9, we know that for suppliers, the mandatory field is only T0. But for the staff, T0 and T3 are mandatory and rest prohibited. So that is the difference between suppliers and the staff. Right, so like that way you can complete the chart of account sheet. So after that you can move to the suppliers sheet. So under the suppliers sheet, put the correct business unit in this field, and then the ID. ID should be like this, 1 to 16, and it should be included to all the lines. The supplier code or the staff code, the staff name of the supplier name, short heading, lookup code, email. The maximum characters for email is 50, web page is 50. Comment, I guess you can have until 250 characters. And then this is where you link the addresses and the chart of accounts to the suppliers. The same code should be included in these two fields. Default currency, and then the payment method, because we don't use normally credit limits and the priority, but if you have any exceptions you can have a priority, but normally it should be blank. The payment method either should be B or check, B for bank, C for check. And payment terms code should be applied for suppliers, but for staff you can keep it blank. The status should be open, O means open. Alright, so that is how you can complete the suppliers template. Then after that you can move to the bank details sheet, put the business unit here, and then complete the related information, right? And as we know, the bank detail code is mandatory. Bank name, bank branch, bank sort code are mandatory fields. And also bank account number should be there, bank account name should be there. And each bank detail code should be linked with the supplier code or the staff code. If this is related to a hub, then the data access group should be inputted. Right, so here another important thing is this bank subcode. If the country is using a bank subcode, you can include that. Otherwise, you can keep it as blank. I think I forgot to mention about the data access group field under the addresses. So under the addresses also, the data access group should be included for hub countries. Remember, this data access group is applicable only for hub entities. In that way, now you have completed the 4 sheets, 4 Excel files. Now copy and paste those templates into the remote desktop. Now I have those files in my remote desktop. After copying the 4 files, what you have to do is you have to create the XML file in order to upload them into the Sun system. So there is a method that you have to create this XML file. First, you have to create either ADD or COA XML file. Then you can move to SUS and then bank, right? So you can decide on that. What is the first file you should do? It can be either addresses or chart of accounts, but not the suppliers. So let's try addresses. So after opening the file, log on to info Q&A. I already there. Then after that, come to this data send function. Click on that function. Then the data send function, the window will open like this. And under this load definition, you will find internal definition. Under the internal definition, you will find addresses. Click OK. Then you can see the internal definition related to this file. Just make sure that related fields have been mapped correctly. So when you do this, do it very carefully, because let me show you. If you select somewhere here and then click on the Excel sheet, and you can see value is changing. This value is very important because that is how this tool is reading the information from the Excel, right? Therefore, very carefully check that when you check it. So how to correct that? If you have done it mistakenly, select on the respective related line and go to the related field in the Excel and click on it. In this case it's B7, right? So like that, just make sure that your informations are properly mapped. These are the cell references and these are the values on the cell in the Excel. Then after checking that, come to the options and select where you want to save the XML file. Click on this and map where you want to save it. So I want to save it under the desktop. Then after that, click OK. So don't worry about this message because I already have the XML file created. So if you see that because of the same file you exist, verify that whether you need the existing file or not. If not, you can click yes and go ahead. If not, click no and go back to the your file location, rename it or delete it or save it somewhere, or you can change the save location again from this button. In this case, I will override it. If everything is fine, if your fields are properly completed in the Excel, if you are aligned with the number of characters allowed to input, you will not see any error message. So if there is an error message, there will be a message pop up here and saying one error is found or something like that, and then you will see a comment box somewhere here. From there you can see what are the errors. In this case we haven't received any errors, so that is an indication that XML file has been created. The XML file you can find now in that location you have given to save it. And also about the error cell, you can find out from the design where is the error cell. So I'm going back again to the data send, and you can see here error cell. So then in the definition you can see what is the error cell. In this case error cell is the A4. Then the comment should be represented here under this A4 column. So that is how you can find out where is the error cell. Let me move to the chart of accounts file now. This is the chart of accounts file. Same thing, log on to info Q&A and go to data send. Click on load definition, click on internal definition, and this is the definition. Click OK. Right. Same way you will see the information in the definition. I forgot to mention in the addresses file about this layout identifier. So this layout identifier should be the first cell in this ID field, right? Do not select any range, because if you select any range you can do like this, but if you select any cell range then you have to change it every time you do a bulk, because the range can be differ from file to file, right? So therefore select only the first cell like this, right? And then as you did for the addresses, just check it out, the mapping, and after that come to the options, select the file path where you want to save and the file name, and save it, click OK. So then the XML file will be generated if there are any errors. Same way, if there is an error it will show up here like in a comment box. and now you know how to find the error cell. It is from the definition. So I'm okay with the chart of accounts XML also. I'm saving it. Right, so far I have created these two XML files. So before creating this SUS XML file, you have to upload these two files, XMLs, into the Sun system. Open the Sun system. Then after that, go to the related business unit. Then select the TRD function, transfer desk function. This is our TRD function. So under the TRD function, find out the import options. First, you can do either accounts or addresses. Those are the two XMLs we have created. I prefer addresses first, but it's up to you. You can decide on that. Select the business unit, and then under the general, come to this file basis, select client, and when you click on this file name option, you might receive this. Don't worry about it, click OK, and then you can select the related XML file. Remember, we are doing addresses, so select the addresses XML file, click open, and after that click this little run button, and then you can see the transfer results here. Right, if all the records successfully transferred, then you can see like this way, 355 successful records. In my case, I have 355 records. If anything unsuccessful, then you can see here number of records and also some information. You can click on those information and see what are the codes not successfully transferred, and also the reason. So according to that, you can take action. And then let's move to accounts. Actually, the same way you can do for your regular chart of accounts. Now, when you are working with R2R migrated countries, if you are receiving a bulk upload for project numbers or the balance sheet accounts, or let's say chart of accounts, you have to use this COA file and complete the information and then create the XML file and upload this way. So we are done with the accounts, right? So by doing that, we completed addresses and chart of accounts. Next step will be creating the XML file for the suppliers. Open the supplier file and make sure that you are logged on to InfoQA and come to the data send. Same way, click on the load definition, internal definition, and select the supplier definition file. Supplier definition file. Click OK. The same way, you can verify the information, the fields and the values entered in the definition. So after verifying that, you can click options and provide a name to the XML file and the file location where you want to save the file. So now after doing that, click OK. Right, no errors found. So that means XML file already created. I can see that in the desktop. Now let's upload it, transfer it from the transfer desk to Sun system. Under the import options, find out import suppliers. Just scroll down in the list and you can find import suppliers. Right, suppliers also now completed. And then the final step is about bank details. Now we are going to upload the bank details. So this is the bank details file. I just opened the file and we have verified the information earlier, and here go to data send. Click on data send and then click on load definition, internal definition. The definition file name is bank details. Click OK. One important thing is there is no layout identifier for the bank details. The layout identifier for the bank details is blank. Okay, so therefore we don't have the layout ID cell here. To verify the file mapping, let me check this one quickly. The code is B7, correct. Account name is H7, correct. Bank account number is I7. Bank account number, correct. Address G7, but normally we don't use it. Branch E7, correct. Name D7, correct. Sort code F7 is correct. Right. Access group J7, N7 is correct. So like that way you can do that check. Then give a file save allocation, desktop, bank, click OK. Wait for XML file. It has been generated. I can see it here, and then start the TRD process. Now find out import bank details. This one. Like this way you will see the number of records going on. So far it's only 5. You have to wait until it's complete. So this is how, my dear colleagues, you can complete the bulk uploads related to suppliers and staff, and also for chart of accounts, project numbers, or the balance sheet accounts, right? In that case it's only the chart of accounts, COA. But in suppliers and the staff, there should be 4 files: addresses, bank, suppliers, and chart of accounts. If you want to stop anything, if you want to stop the file transfer, you can click terminate. If you click terminate, it will stop, and nothing will, no harm in that situation. You can redo it based on the rectification you want to take, because you terminate it. If you terminate it, there must be a reason, right? Okay friends, so that's it. This is how you can do that. I hope it's clear and you enjoy the video. Bye for now.